Rise and blessings, everybody. I just want to tap in with y'all real quick and give my 2 cents on the whole Kanye West Drink Champs issue. Um, Now many of y'all know that in the past, I've been one that did not agree, and vocally, I was very vocal about it, about not agreeing with Kanye West and some things that he was saying, especially when it came to the slavery being a choice, his statement, and him backing Donald Trump. But the Donald Trump thing, that's it. That's his right. He gets back or support whoever he wants to, just like any one of us. And the slavery was a choice. I mean, he misrepresented. He misworded that right there completely. But that's not what this interview was about. And it wasn't about the George Floyd statement that he made. That he got information from a documentary, and there is a documentary out there that makes those statements. And if instead of just judging what was said, if people actually researched what was being said, they would have found some form of validity even in that George Floyd situation, because there was stuff that was left out of the case in the media. You know what I mean? Like the fentanyl on the car floor and all of that. You know what I mean? Like, dude was high, so. And it was in the court case that he was high on fentanyl and methamphetamines, but it was left out that could have been a cause of his death. You know what I'm saying? Now, why is that significant? Well, it's significant because that charged that whole Black Lives Matter thing. And that Black Lives Matter thing had nothing to do with Black lives. It was an agenda to make money and to create a situation of chaos. You know what I mean? To perpetuate a situation of chaos. And this is done by the same people that are telling these young rappers to go ahead and make this music about killing and this, that, and the third, because it sells records. That's what the youth want to hear, yada, 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 yada. You know what I'm saying? But you don't see that being done to other cultures. You know what I mean? To other people. It seems like it's only the quote unquote black race and the black peoples that this is being done to. So that interview was more about that than anything else. So for people to really just take that, 30 seconds of what he said about George Floyd and make the whole thing about him, disrespecting the George Floyd family and this, that, and the third, and him making anti-Semitic statements. When you state a fact, that's not anti-Semitic. That's a fact, yo. You know what I mean? Y'all gonna sit here and tell me that the people he said is running this show ain't running the show? Like, seriously? Like, at the end of the day, when you follow the money trail, where all the money winds up ending up, the money trail don't lie, man. You know what I'm saying? The people at the top that's benefiting off all of this, it ain't us. It ain't us. We're not even getting 1% of the revenue that's being made off of our culture. While somebody else, while other people are manipulating our culture and using our culture and then making all of the money off of it and telling us to do negative shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. The obvious is obvious. It's not anti-Semitic, yo. And it's crazy to me because anytime any other group of people speak out, their voices are met with compassion. Oh, we got it. Their feelings are hurt. You know what I'm saying? You say something about the LGBTQ community, and immediately, their feelings was hurt, and we got to correct this. You say anything about the Jewish community, oh, their feelings are hurt, and we got to correct this. But you say something about us, or you say you do things that are negative to us, and ain't nobody correcting nothing. Ain't nobody correcting nothing. As a matter of fact, everybody's making money off of it. And they encourage it. And behind doors, you got dudes like Leo Cohen telling people, yo, you got to make that aggressive music, man. Like, the gangster stuff. Talk about killing people. Talk about the sex and the drugs and stuff like that. Don't sell. They don't want to hear positive messages. Not your people. Your people don't want to hear positive messages. Everybody else does, but your people, nah, they don't want to hear positive messages from your people. They want to hear the violence. They want to hear what it's like in the ghetto. And we wonder why we still stuck in the situation mentally where we are. Because we keep on listening to motherfuckers that tell us to put ourselves in this position so that they can make money off of us. And that's what Kanye's talking about. This dude is worth $11 billion, man. You don't think they scared of him? You don't think that they not scared of him? They terrified of what he could do. Yeah, $11 billion. And he's doing all of this right now. He's saying all of this right now. Man, he's risking his wealth, man. He's risking it. Knowing that, I mean, at the end of the day, he has to do finance with these people right now. Or if his people, if enough of us start listening and paying and saving attention to what's really going on and saying, you know what, we're not going to be a part of that anymore. Now, we ain't necessarily got to go with Kanye, but we'll start realizing, you know what, we got to separate ourselves from that machine, because that machine right there is not in our benefit. We got to create our own machine and start working together like they're doing. Don't be mad at the Jews. Take lesson from what they're doing and what they've been doing. Real talk. Other cultures do business with each other. They'll take 5 of them and create a business together and then hire 10 more of them and everybody build together. We don't do that. We looking for somebody else. We go to somebody else's culture to invest in our shit. And then they make all the money and make all the decisions. And then they're the ones who's telling people what our culture is. Come on, man. We got to wake up, yo. We got to wake up. And this is not a slight to none of my Jewish homies. You know what I'm saying? Nobody but let's be real. The reality is the reality, yo. You know what I'm saying? And every time a Jewish person gets offended, you can't keep on bringing up the Holocaust, yo. And then when somebody, and then turn around and say, well, black people always bring up slavery. Slavery's still going on, yo. That shit ain't never ended, man. Ain't nobody ever received reparations for it or nothing. Meanwhile, Israel receives money from the United States every single year. Reparations for World War II. Wait a minute. Let me say that again. The United States pays Israel reparations for World War II. The United States ain't had nothing to do with what was going on with Israel. Matter of fact, the United States supposedly went and fought for Israel, for the Jews. You know what I mean? Saved them from the situation in Germany. But we're paying the reparations. This country is paying the reparations. That means me and you, our tax money. Our tax money is being sent to Israel every year. Just like right now, our tax money is being sent to the Ukraine. Meanwhile, we got a homeless situation here. We got low income situation here. We got peoples that have been declassified, misrepresented, misclassified, and have received no reparations whatsoever for the crimes and the sins of this country right here. But everybody else's feelings is hurt. I mean, that shit is crazy to me. And what's wild is, this ain't even about supporting Kanye. It's about supporting truth. You know what I mean? The truth comes, man. And it's not here to care about people's feelings, man. The truth could care less about your feelings. The truth is the truth. And people got to start facing that truth, man. And waking up and accepting it. And stop living in this lie like kumbaya, man. Because it ain't kumbaya. It's not kumbaya. We needed Donald Trump to become president in order to open your eyes back to that whole racism situation that everybody thought wasn't there no more. And it was right there. It had never gone anywhere. It was still there when Obama was president. It was the same damn racism. We just chose not to accept it until we got a face that we could say, oh, he's the one. Nah, he wasn't the one. Donald Trump ain't create that racism. That racism was already there. It had never gone anywhere. Just like this situation with what Kanye's talking about. This has always been here. And I'm gonna be real with you, man. Like when I first told my father, now I'm 52 years old right now. In the 80s, in the early 80s, mid 80s, and I told my father that I wanted to pursue music. My father was in the industry, so I mean, he knew Clive Davis and all those kind of people and stuff like that. But the first thing my father told me, he said, "Listen, you sure this is what you want to do?" I said, "Yeah, man. I got a passion for it." He said, "Okay, I got to tell you one thing when you go in there. I'm not gonna tell you not to do it or nothing like that, but you got to be careful." He said, "Cause," and this is his words. I'm not gonna say this is the right. He used the right words. So I'm not trying to be politically correct. I'm just telling you exactly what my father told me in the mid '80s, and this was his experience from the mid '50s all the way up until that point. He said, "Look, you be careful." He said, "Because this industry is run by faggots and Jews." He said, "And what's going to happen is that you're going to get to a certain position and they're going to proposition you. And you're not even going to know they're propositioning you, but they're going to proposition you to take control. And they work hand in hand. You know what I'm saying? They get you with sex is a tool. You know what I mean? Sex and drugs is a tool of the hierarchy. Because they entice the artists and those that they want to manipulate with sex and drugs. So they'll offer you all kind of sex and drugs. They'll give you the female, this, that, and the third, yada, yada, yada. You know what I mean? You're doing this, that, and the third. Next thing you know, you having homosexual acts going on. You know what I mean? It's a lot of freaky things going on. But the one that set all of that up is the one that actually wants to get you on the contract. And the reason he set all of that up is so that way, that contract, he can write it and manipulate it in any way that he wants because he got something over you. There's a videotape or an audio tape or something of you. And then now they got you by the balls and these are things you got to do. And they tell you what to do. And if you don't do it, you assed out. In more ways than one. You know what I mean? And these are real things. This is not hate speech. This is shit that really happens. How about, instead of saying it's hate speech, how about motherfuckers saying they hate that this shit happens? That's what we should be focused on. Not sitting there claiming everything. Soon as somebody says that they don't agree with those that are in power, the first thing that somebody says is, "Oh, it's anti-Semitic, and it's hate speech." Nah, it's not hate speech. It's truth speech. It's truth speech. Seriously. So, with that being said, man, because I've been one that's been outspoken like this for a minute, and I wish my voice was bigger. But I'm gonna keep on shouting this like I've been doing it, and I'm just glad that there's other people that are shouting this kind of stuff, because we dealing with the heads of serpents, and those heads keep on claiming that they're the ones that are righteous and all of that, and they're not, man. They're not. We really only have us to count on. We can't count on this power structure, and the Constitution literally says when we recognize that this government is not working for the people, we're supposed to dismantle that government and create a new one. That's in the Constitution. That's in the Constitution. See, what we need to be doing is reading up on all these statutes and these codes and these laws and all of that kind of stuff that they know that they're able to, this one over here counteracts that one over there and negates this over there. It's just like contract law, man. It's like contract law. Things they tell us is that we can't do, they're doing them with loopholes. So let's learn these loopholes, man. Let's learn the loopholes. Let's start working together. Let's start investing in our communities. Make sure that our dollars come back within our functionality. You know what I'm saying? If If you got land and I need to put a building on it, sell me the fucking land, man, or lease the land to me. And now I can put a building on it, and I can lease that building to somebody, that one of us that needs to open a store, and then they can run the store. Now they paying us rent, and I'm paying you rent for the mortgage for that land. You know what I'm saying? Like we need to be doing those kind of things. That's what the Jews do. There's nothing wrong with that. But that's what they do. I mean, you look outside of it. They don't put up outside of their culture in power structures, man. They don't do it. They don't do it. They do business with their people. Period. Period. They'll partner with certain things, but at the end of the day, majority shares is going back to them. And then they put a percentage of that into a pot, and then they say, okay, this money over here is for us to actually collectively do things. See, that's what we need to be doing as a people. Yeah, recognize what's going on, but don't recognize it just to complain. Recognize it to learn from it and say, you know what? If they were able to do that, God damn it, why can't we? I salute anybody that speaks up, man. Speaks their mind, speaks openly, isn't afraid to speak, isn't afraid of the power structure taking anything away from them. Because at the end of the day, we came in this motherfucker butt ass naked. So they can't take shit from you. Period. Love and light, man. Peace and blessings. Yo, anybody that has an opinion about this whole situation, leave a comment down below. You know what I mean? Let's talk about it. Because we need to have these kind of conversations more often. It's not about whether we agree with each other or anything. That's not the whole thing. We need to have these conversations so that we see each other's perspectives and maybe come to some kind of medium ground. Because that's the only way we're going to come to a solution. Because, I mean, that's what I'm looking for solution. And I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all are looking for solution. We tired of complaining, man. And we tired of getting punched in the fucking face and saying we just got to turn the other cheek while everybody else gets punched in the face and punches back. Punch the bully in the face sometimes, man. I bet he leaves you alone. Love and light to everybody, man. Raz9. And look for my book, TPMF, the lives actually of a Hollis crew. Coming to Amazon Kindle real soon. It's my first book. I'm very happy about that. But that's not what this post was about. So anyway, anybody that has any opinion about this situation or wants to talk about it, leave a comment below. And let's talk, man. Let's have a conversation. I love y'all, man. Early. Rise 9. It's your boy, Corey Drumz.